Did you know that centuries ago, Nostradamus, a famed seer from the 16th century, made a shocking prediction about the year 2022? According to his centuries-old prophecies, Queen Elizabeth was destined to leave us that very year. But Nostradamus didn't stop there. He also foresaw the astonishing rise of artificial intelligence, among many other events, some of which have unfolded with eerie accuracy. Today, we're diving into one of his lesser-known predictions for 2024 that will leave you absolutely astounded. Stay tuned, because you're about to hear a prediction that seems almost unbelievable. The number of potential future popes continues to grow as 21 new names have been added to the Catholic churches, yet only 137 of those will have the right to vote for the next pope. The Book of Predictions. Nostradamus embarked on a monumental endeavor in the year 1554. Fueled by his profound visions, he set out to compile a series of prophecies that would span 2 millennia, encapsulating his forecasts in what he initially dubbed centuries. His intention was to create 10 books, each containing 100 predictions, forecasting events for the subsequent 2,000 years. This ambitious project, commonly known as the prophecies, was the author's greatest achievement. In 1555, the culmination of his efforts bore fruit with the publication of the prophecies. Employing quatrains, which are 4-line rhymed verses, Nostradamus concealed the subject matter of his predictions by utilizing a blend of languages, including Latin, Greek, Italian, and Provençal, a southern French dialect. His concern about religious backlash led him to create this linguistic fusion to protect his work from potential persecution. Despite his deep engagement with astrology, Nostradamus faced criticism from contemporary astrologers for what they perceived as incompetence. Nevertheless, he persisted, drawing inspiration from diverse sources, including ancient, end-of-the-world prophecies, biblical texts, and historical accounts. His prophecies often referenced figures from antiquity, such as Sulla, Gaius Marius, and Nero, as well as events like battles in the clouds and peculiar occurrences like frogs falling from the sky. The sources of his predictions were manifold, ranging from classical historians like Livy and Plutarch to medieval chroniclers such as Geoffrey of Villehardouin and Jean Froissart. Notably, Nostradamus rephrased prophecies from 1522 into French, contributing to his recognition as a prophetic figure. Some accused him of plagiarism, prevalent in the 16th century, when Nostradamus's work gained prominence, particularly through his annual almanacs, which he published from 1550 until his death. These almanacs, filled with detailed and generalized predictions, garnered widespread popularity among the masses. Nostradamus's reluctance to embrace the title of prophet underscores his humility and the historical precedent upon which his predictions were based. He maintained that while his forecasts may echo the prophetic, he did not claim to possess prophetic powers of his own. Instead, he attributed his insights to a process of contemplation, meditation, and incubation, eschewing any mystical methods of entering a trance state. The prophecies comprised 353 quatrains in their initial installment, with subsequent editions expanding to include new predictions. However, due to the printing practices of the time, no 2 editions were identical, rendering attempts to decipher coded messages within his texts futile. Now you won't believe which Nostradamus's predictions are about to be fulfilled in 2024. Humans could live well over 100 years. Nostradamus made a prediction regarding human longevity, foreseeing a future where advancements in science would enable individuals to live significantly longer lives. According to his prophecy, humans could potentially reach an age ranging from 150 to 170 years. In his vision, Nostradamus envisioned a time when the natural healing abilities of the human body would extend the average lifespan beyond its current limits. However, he speculated that surpassing this threshold would necessitate the intervention of science to further extend the human lifespan. This has already somewhat happened due to bionic limb replacements, but if we follow his words, it will go far beyond only limbs. To achieve this feat, Nostradamus suggested that scientific advancements would be crucial. These advancements might involve the development of innovative drugs, the implementation of cell reprogramming techniques, or even the integration of artificial organs into the human body. By strengthening the body and overcoming its natural limitations, science could pave the way for humans to live longer than ever before. Researchers today are actively engaged in exploring ways to extend the human lifespan, reflecting the ongoing dialogue between scientific progress and the inherent constraints of our biology. This quest for longevity underscores the intricate relationship between science and the human condition as we continually strive to push the boundaries of what is possible. The new Pope. According to Nostradamus' predictions 400 years ago, a significant change may be on the horizon for the Vatican. With Pope Francis currently in his mid-80s and facing health challenges, the prospect of a new pontiff being elected in 2024 seems plausible. Nostradamus foresaw this transition, suggesting that the death of an elderly pontiff would pave the way for the election of a Roman of good age. However, the astrologer's prophecy takes a somewhat ominous turn. While the arrival of a younger and more vigorous pope might initially seem promising, Nostradamus hinted at potential challenges ahead. He suggested that this new leader would weaken his seat, raising questions about the future influence of the Church and Christianity as a whole. Whether this weakening pertains to internal struggles within the Vatican or external pressures remains subject to interpretation. Furthermore, Nostradamus indicated that the new pope would hold office for an extended period, characterized by biting activity. This phrase suggests a tenure marked by assertiveness or perhaps controversy. Speculation abounds regarding the exact implications of these predictions, with some interpreting them as forewarning of internal strife or scandal within the Catholic Church. Interestingly, he also mentioned that the new pope would not be the chosen Roman pontiff and would not be heeded near or far. This enigmatic statement raises questions about the perceived legitimacy or authority of the future pope, suggesting potential challenges to his leadership. Additionally, the astrologer made reference to a dark-skinned youth who would play a significant role in the transition of power. This description implies that the future pope may hail from African or Asian descent, adding a layer of diversity to the papacy. But even Jesus was of that descent, despite being depicted as white in many movies. As Pope Francis grapples with health concerns and the Catholic Church prepares for potential leadership changes, the world watches with anticipation, mindful of the insights provided by Nostradamus centuries ago. World War III. According to Nostradamus, the Third World War will be a prolonged conflict that engulfs the globe with dire consequences for all involved. While the specific triggers for this catastrophic event are subject to debate, there are prevailing theories regarding the potential causes. One possibility for a conflict on a global scale is the brewing tensions between China and Taiwan that could escalate into a full-scale conflict, drawing in major world powers such as the United States and Russia. Given China's significant military buildup and its alleged possession of a sizable nuclear arsenal, according to various defense and scientific organizations, this scenario is particularly concerning. Another possibility is a resurgence of hostilities in regions like Ukraine, where geopolitical tensions have simmered for years. The involvement of multiple major players, coupled with the proliferation of advanced weaponry, raises the specter of a protracted and devastating war. Nostradamus' cryptic verses also hint at the involvement of unconventional weapons, such as planes or submarines, in triggering the conflict. This suggests the potential for unexpected events to spiral out of control, leading to catastrophic consequences on a global scale. Nostradamus' gloomy imagery emphasizes the severity of the conflict and its profound effects on humanity. The prophet's warnings serve as a reminder of the fragility of peace and the urgent need for diplomatic efforts to prevent the outbreak of such a devastating war. Earthquake on the West Coast. Nostradamus foresaw an earthquake striking the west coast of the United States. According to his predictions, this seismic event would result in widespread destruction of property and loss of life. The prophecy describes the earthquake as occurring on the 20th day of Taurus, a zodiac sign associated with late April to mid-May. This ominous event is depicted as causing the sun to tremble and the collapse of a great theater, likely referring to one of many major entertainment venues in California. Given the geological instability of the region, particularly along the San Andreas Fault, Nostradamus' prophecy strikes a chord of concern among residents and experts alike. The San Andreas Fault, a tectonic boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate, poses a constant risk of major earthquakes due to the accumulated strain along its length. Scientists have long warned of the potential for a devastating earthquake along the San Andreas Fault. Such an event could unleash tremendous energy, causing extensive damage to infrastructure and endangering countless lives. The estimated economic impact of such a quake is staggering, with projections suggesting billions of dollars in damage and thousands of casualties. The aftermath of the earthquake would be dire, with critical infrastructure such as roads, sewage systems, and power and water lines severely disrupted or destroyed. The city of Los Angeles, in particular, would face significant challenges in recovery, potentially requiring years to fully restore essential services. Perhaps most concerning is the potential for a mass exodus from affected areas in the aftermath of the earthquake. Disruption of essential services and widespread destruction of property could lead to a rapid decline in the quality of life, prompting residents to flee the region in search of safer environments. A new king. Another particularly intriguing prediction revolves around the emergence of a new British monarch, foretold as the King of the Isles, who will be driven out by force and succeeded by one who will have no mark of a king. Many analysts have interpreted this prophecy as a reference to the British monarchy, speculating on the identity of the monarch in question and the circumstances surrounding their rise and fall from power. While the prophecy lacks specificity, it has sparked lively debate and speculation among followers of Nostradamus' writings. The current person on the throne, King Charles, could be the monarch referred to as the King of the Isles. If this is the case, there may be a turbulent time in British history filled with intrigue and political upheaval. Conflict and controversy during King Charles's reign might eventually force him from office. In this scenario, the prophecy suggests that Prince Harry, the younger son of King Charles, could ascend to the throne in unexpected circumstances. Despite not possessing the traditional qualities associated with kingship, such as royal lineage or upbringing, Prince Harry emerges as the unlikely successor to the throne, defying conventional expectations. The circumstances surrounding King Charles's removal from power could vary, ranging from political turmoil within the royal family to external pressures and challenges. It would be consistent with Nostradamus' prophecy that a monarch will be thrown out by force, whether he is pushed to resign in favor of Prince William or ousted from the throne by force. The ascension of Prince Harry to the throne would undoubtedly provoke significant controversy and debate within British society. As a non-traditional monarch, lacking the customary attributes of kingship, Prince Harry's reign could face resistance and skepticism from traditionalists and royalists. However, his unique background and experiences could also bring a fresh perspective to the monarchy, appealing to a broader segment of the population. Additionally, broader societal changes and transformations might follow Prince Harry's accession to the throne. His reign might coincide with evolving attitudes towards monarchy, citizenship, and governance, reflecting changing values and priorities in British society. If this prophecy holds, Prince Harry could embody the aspirations of a new generation as a symbol of modernity and progress, reshaping the institution of the monarchy for the 21st century. A new young leader of Europe, Nostradamus foretold the emergence of a new young leader in Europe, which raises concerns about the impact such a figure might have in a world full of difficulties and uncertainties. In the current global landscape, characterized by geopolitical tensions, economic disparities, and social unrest, the prospect of a charismatic and influential leader assuming the reins of power in Europe holds both promise and peril. While some may view the arrival of a fresh, dynamic leader as a beacon of hope, others may harbor concerns about the intentions and capabilities of this newfound figure. The ability of this young leader to inspire and mobilize support, particularly among the youth demographic, could prove instrumental in shaping the direction of European politics and society. His skills and persuasive rhetoric may galvanize public opinion, leading to significant shifts in policy priorities and public discourse. However, the challenges facing Europe and the world at large are formidable, ranging from the pandemic to climate change, economic inequality, and regional conflicts. His capacity to navigate these complex issues, build consensus among various stakeholders, and enact significant reforms that meet the urgent needs of the populace will be a test of the new leader's leadership effectiveness. Moreover, the influence of this emerging leader is likely to extend beyond Europe's borders, exerting a ripple effect on the global stage. In the absence of specific details regarding the identity or background of the prophesied leader, there are speculations regarding his potential identity, political affiliation, and agenda. Another pandemic, Nostradamus' hypothesis about the discovery of an antiquated virus and its release into the ocean as a result of melting glaciers raises intriguing queries about the relationship between science, climate change, and public health. While Nostradamus' predictions often invoke speculation, this scenario presents a plausible chain of events given our current understanding of environmental processes and microbial biology. Firstly, let's consider the premise of an ancient virus lying dormant for thousands of years. The discovery of ancient viruses in Arctic regions serves as evidence that viruses can survive in permafrost or ice cores for prolonged periods. These viruses can remain preserved until environmental conditions, such as rising temperatures due to global warming, cause the ice to melt. As temperatures continue to rise, glaciers and ice sheets around the world are melting at an accelerating rate. This melting releases not only water, but also trapped gases, minerals, and potentially ancient microbes, including viruses that have been frozen for millennia. If a virus dating back 40,000 years were to be released from melting ice, it could pose a significant threat to human health, especially if it proved to be pathogenic and resistant to modern treatments. Once released into the environment, the virus could potentially find its way into ocean waters through various pathways. Melting glaciers contribute fresh water to the oceans, altering the salinity and nutrient composition of marine ecosystems. This influx of fresh water could create favorable conditions for the proliferation of microbial life, including viruses in coastal and oceanic environments. Furthermore, as glaciers retreat, they expose previously frozen soil and rock layers that may contain ancient viruses. Surface runoff from these newly exposed areas could carry viral particles into rivers and eventually into the ocean. Once in the marine environment, the virus might spread over great distances by ocean currents, potentially affecting marine life and human populations along coastal areas. Trump's 2024 presidential election, the possibility of Donald Trump running for president again in 2024, has stirred considerable speculation, with some looking to the cryptic verses of Nostradamus for clues. While not explicitly stating Trump's return, there's a belief among some that phrases like, "when the white dragon comes back," allude to his potential comeback. As Nostradamus' prophecy suggests, Trump has been outspoken about his intentions, raising the possibility that his return will cause unrest and division in the country. Some interpretations of Nostradamus' writings predict that if Trump were to win a second term, controversies and conflicts would be commonplace. The predictions suggest that leaks and structural breaches within the country's fabric could further exacerbate tensions, potentially tarnishing Trump's reputation. Allegations of misconduct or corruption may emerge, casting a shadow over his presidency and leading to potential disqualification or resignation from office. The resurgence of interest in Nostradamus and his prophecies isn't new, particularly concerning significant political events like presidential elections. Many sought insights from Nostradamus during Trump's first presidential campaign, interpreting verses like Century 3, Quatrain 81 as potential predictions of his victory. Trump assumes leadership once again. Both supporters and skeptics alike will turn to Nostradamus in search of clues about the future trajectory of the United States and the world under his presidency climate disaster. Out of hundreds of prophecies, you wouldn't believe which Nostradamus predictions are about to be fulfilled in 2024, and the worst one might be close. In fact, according to some people, this prophecy might be fulfilled on May 3, 2024. Nostradamus' prophecy regarding the climate crisis worsening in 2024 raises concerns about the potential for extreme weather events and their catastrophic impact. With global temperatures continuing to rise due to climate change, regions around the world are experiencing prolonged periods of extreme heat and drought. The dry earth will grow more parched, which could signify worsening drought conditions in already arid areas, leading to water scarcity, crop failures, and ecosystem degradation. As the atmosphere warms, it becomes more energized, fueling the intensification of tropical storms, hurricanes, and cyclones. These powerful weather systems bring heavy rainfall, leading to flash floods and river overflows. The prediction of great floods when they are seen alludes to the devastating impact of these extreme events, displacing populations and causing widespread destruction. The melting of polar ice caps and glaciers contributes to rising sea levels. Higher sea levels exacerbate the impact of storm surges and flooding, resulting in coastal erosion, saltwater intrusion into freshwater sources, and loss of habitat for marine and terrestrial species. Nostradamus' mention of a very great famine through pestiferous waves could symbolize the convergence of extreme weather events such as droughts, floods, and heat waves, leading to crop failures and food shortages. Disrupted agricultural systems, coupled with the loss of arable land and declining biodiversity, exacerbate food insecurity, particularly in vulnerable regions already grappling with poverty and resource scarcity. The compounding effects of climate-related disasters contribute to humanitarian crises, forcing millions of people to flee their homes in search of safety and livelihoods. Mass displacement strains resources and infrastructure, heightening social tensions and exacerbating existing conflicts over limited resources, including water, food, and land. The climate crisis accelerates environmental degradation, including deforestation, habitat loss, and biodiversity decline. Ecosystems struggle to adapt to rapidly changing conditions, leading to the collapse of vital ecosystems and the loss of species. World gets scorched by radiation. Nostradamus' predictions foretell a grim future after his foretold World War III. In this prophecy, radiation scorches the entire world after the devastating war. In his vision of the end of times, he describes how the entire planet will be engulfed in massive amounts of radiation, leading to devastating consequences for all life forms. The depiction of the radiation apocalypse's aftermath is gruesome, with vast tracts of land catching fire as a result of the radiation's intense heat. His raging inferno serves as a warning of the dire fate that awaits humanity if it fails to heed the signs of an impending disaster. Many interpret Nostradamus' warning as a reminder of the critical importance of preserving the Earth's delicate ecosystem and also not going into global conflicts. The friction between the destruction of forests and the prospect of an ozone hole is particularly troubling, underscoring the urgent need for environmental conservation efforts. China rules the world. The rise of China as a global superpower has been a topic of considerable interest and speculation in recent years. With its rapid economic growth, expanding military capabilities, and increasing influence on the world stage, China's ascent has prompted discussions about its potential impact on the existing global order. Interestingly, interpretations of the prophecies of Nostradamus suggest that he may have foreseen China's rise to power. In one of his quatrains, Nostradamus alludes to a red adversary that would cause turmoil and instill fear. Is Communist China, given the significance of the color red in Chinese symbolism, and the country's communist regime, is it? Not only did he foresee a naval conflict involving China, but its global rise to power as well. Nostradamus' prophecy speaks of the great ocean being filled with dread, which could be interpreted as a reference to the strategic importance of trade routes and the potential disruption that conflict in these waters could cause to global commerce. With China's increasing presence in key choke points and shipping lanes, such as the Strait of Malacca and the South China Sea, there is a growing recognition of the need to address maritime security challenges in the region. The reference to the great city in Nostradamus' prophecy has been speculated to represent the United States, historically regarded as a dominant global power. As China continues to assert its influence through initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, there are concerns about the implications of its rise for the existing international order, exactly as Nostradamus predicted. Which one was the most on point? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos that we made, click on one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.